Bernstein is going to be out for this game, inactive. The antithesis of inactive, of course, is their middle linebacker, Junior Seau, the only all-pro consensus for the AFC. He's one of the two key defensive players for the San Diego Chargers. The other being Leslie O'Neal, who led the AFC in sacks. And Dick, Trump, I think one of the big issues today are going to be whether or not Richmond Webb and the Miami line can keep out Leslie O'Neal in that pass rush. Trump?
And 17 sacks for O'Neal, 8 for Grossman, so there will be pressure from outside on Marino, but that's now how you really get to the Miami quarterback.
Yeah, Dick, I think if you polled NFL coaches, the way to get to Dan Marino is to push up the middle. And the San Diego Chargers think they've got a guy. His name is Chris Mims, a young man who as a rookie has already assembled 10 sacks. This defensive line for the San Diego Chargers, they get the bulk of the sacks for the Chargers.
Right, 51 total, and they rank number 4 as a total defense in the NFL, but they are young, and especially when it comes to playoff experience, very little. In fact, Marino and his 2 wide receivers, Clayton and Duper, have more playoff game experience than all of the Charger roster. Will that be a factor?
The conventional wisdom says, yes, a young team on the road should have a problem, but Dick, San Diego is just playing another week of football. They did not have a week off because of the playoffs. The routine has remained the same, and I think it's helped them. Miami, on the other hand, needed the week off. Marco Coleman, we don't know how well he'll play or how much he'll play, but they needed the week off for him to get healthy, and they didn't have a bye this year. They played 16 straight weeks.
A lot of so-called experts. Does it surprise you that almost unanimously they're picking San Diego to win?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it does surprise me.
All right, let's go down to O.J. Simpson.
Hey, Trump, I guess we got it worked out now. As far as the Dolphins are concerned, there's a lot of questions surrounding this team, despite winning their last 3 games. One is at running back, where Mark Higgs will not play today. They'll ask Bobby Humphries to go all the way. Now, Bobby has been mainly a third down back. I caught up with Dan Marino about 2 hours ago and asked him how would that affect their offensive game plan.
You know, we're not going to change much. The thing that we can do with him is just throwing the ball a little more out of our base offense, which we didn't do a lot with Mark Higgs because he isn't the same type receiver that Bobby is. But and we're going to pretty much stay the same and do the same things we've been doing all year.
Now, if Bobby Humphries get tired, they have to go to second-year back Aaron Craver. Now, Aaron has just come off injured reserve. He's only carried the ball 3 times all year. He has no receptions. To me, the key man to watch is Marco Coleman. He missed the last game of the year. He has an ankle problem. He's a defensive end. If he can't play today, it's going to be a long day for the Dolphins. Bobby, that's the story here.
All right, O.J., finally we got the electric company to turn on the juice, and we got to hear from our man on the sideline. Now, one of the interesting subplots today is Dolphins coach Don Shula going against his former defensive coordinator Bill Arnsparger, who now holds the same position with the Chargers. Arnsparger was with Shula for the perfect season in '72, coaching the no-name defense of the early '70s and later the Killer Bees of the '80s.
I think we both know a little bit about each other from having spent so much time together. And Bill certainly knows my thoughts and the way that I operate. But by the same token, I've been around Bill a lot, and I know how he thinks and how he operates.
You know, in those reports, one thing that wasn't mentioned, it's not week to week, it's the whole season now. John Offerdahl gone for Miami. Outstanding linebacker. They've missed him for more than half a season, and his absence has really been felt. But let's follow up on what Trumpy and Enberg said. The Dolphins are the favorites, but everybody thinks San Diego is going to win the game.
Which makes you say, why are the Dolphins favorite? This game is going to get right down to, from talking to the coaches I've talked to this week, can they pass protect for Dan Marino? It's that simple.
Now, the Chargers can really put on the pressure. I go back, though, to '85, when you had the awesome defense. Now, a lot of the personnel has changed, but Shula's still there. Marino, Clayton, and Duper still there. They were the only team to beat you, did it at the Orange Bowl, and they were able to thwart the rush with a good strategy.
Well, let me tell you what they did. They went to a third receiver against us, which we didn't change our defense. We never went to a nickel package. We covered that third receiver with a linebacker. That was the mistake we made in that football game. The other thing they did so well against us in '85 was they took the quarterback and rolled him out of the pocket. They moved the pocket for Marino. They got him outside. They threw the ball on comeback routes or turn-in routes to Duper and to Clayton. And that's basically where they were effective. And plus, they had one ball bounce off somebody's helmet that went for a touchdown.
Okay. Later on in the show, by the way, we'll talk to Coach Ditka about his situation in the past in Chicago and maybe in the future. But when we come back, we'll look at how Bobby Beathard put together the San Diego Chargers. In just 3 seasons, he's built them into title contenders. That's next as we continue on NFL Live.
NFL Live, the AFC Divisional Playoff, is brought to you by the United States Marine Corps, the few, the proud, the Marines. By Subway, the place where fresh is the taste. And by the new Bic Twin Select. For normal and sensitive skin, there's a Bic for every beard.
Stadium in Miami, the Chargers and Dolphins winner host the AFC Championship game next Sunday against Buffalo. Here's Chargers Pro Bowl linebacker Junior Seau, the 5th overall pick in the 1990 draft and the first Charger draft choice taken by general manager Bobby Beathard. In Beathard's first 2 seasons in San Diego, the Chargers were 6.
I think the key word is better than can you motivate people. Find people who can motivate themselves, basically. Now, there is some motivation necessary in everything you do. But if you have to spend your whole time trying to motivate somebody to play the best football they can play with the talents they have, then you're not going to be coaching football. You're going to be trying to be a babysitter to a guy and try to figure out how to bring his talents out. And that's unfair to the other 46, 45 guys.
Is there some kind of point of view that maybe you'd like to express, but it just wouldn't be classy, wouldn't be right now in the aftermath of the firing, that a year from now, 2 years from now is going to come out?
I really don't think so. I have no animosity. I really don't. I really don't. I thought about this, and you know, I believe in a lot of things that people don't know me that well wouldn't know I believe in. So I have no bitterness or animosity toward anybody. I may have a disagreement with people, what their thinking is and what my thinking is. That doesn't necessarily make me right or them wrong or anything else like that. But someday I might say what my disagreement was, but it's the minor thing, really.
What was your biggest mistake or shortcoming?
Probably, I think at the end, I think that as I've been, I just think that you can't handle players the same way, you know. There's certain guys you can holler at, and the thing that hurt me the most is in the early days, though, if I criticized somebody or reprimanded somebody, the camera wasn't on me, so nobody really knew. The camera's on you, and I reprimand somebody once a game. That's the only shot anybody ever sees. They don't see the other shots, and that's a little bit unfair. So I got to blame you guys for that.
Briefly then, are you satisfied with your image in Chicago and out?
Well, I look in the mirror every day and I'm satisfied with who I am. What people think of me, I can't control that. But I can control who I am and what I think of myself.
And we can control this. We'll ask you to watch these commercial messages. When we come back, we'll wrap things up and then send it out to Joe Robbie Stadium for the kickoff. We send things to Miami. One thing I forgot to ask you, Walter Payton's part of that potential ownership group in St. Louis, and it's almost a lock they're going to get an expansion franchise. People would say, perfect fit, energize the situation, fans would love it, Mike Ditka.
Well, you think they like dinosaurs at St. Louis?
Well, I think everyone has an appreciation for the finer things in life, things that last.
I think that would be a very remote thing. I doubt that would ever happen.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
You didn't ask the key question. You're going to take me with you.
Well, I'm going to take you, but I don't know what I'm going to use you for.
in exactly what capacity is unclear. But before any of you fret about Mike's financial health, we added it up. 6.5 minutes of commercials in this half-hour pregame show, 90 seconds of which featured Mike Ditka, including this next bit of business, which I know you'll watch very attentively, because on the other side of it is the kickoff between the Chargers and the Dolphins from Joe Robbie, and then Mike Ditka and Will McDonough will be back with me at halftime. Enjoy the game, everybody, and pay special attention to Mike Ditka coming up in seconds in his newest line of work.
If you're going to win the big game, you got to win the individual matchups.
The story of... Imagine what it means to play in the Super Bowl. After so many yards, so many years, a chance to look from the summit. Dan Marino understands. 10 years ago, curly, bright-eyed, and not too innocent, he was the 1983 Rookie of the Year. In his second season, he took the Dolphins all the way to the Super Bowl. The 49ers dominated that day, but for Marino, so talented and so young, a Super Bowl ring did seem inevitable. Yet he's never had another shot. Maybe that's the key to understanding Marino, understanding the fire, the burning intensity that challenges his own teammates. Dan Marino is 31 years old, certainly one of the great quarterbacks of all time, and his time is running out. A player is given only so many yards, so many years to reach Super Bowl heights. While Marino was beginning his NFL climb, a 17-year-old, 220-pound quarterback in Shreveport, Louisiana, was scaling a mountain of his own. Stan Humphries was setting high school records, dreaming of a state championship, maybe a college career. Now he's the young quarterback succeeding in his first season as a starter in the NFL, a team leader who's helped bring the Chargers to the playoffs for the first time in almost a decade. Stan Humphries stands just 2 games away from the Super Bowl, 2 games away from the summit. So inexperienced, can he really understand how rare this opportunity is? Does he understand that second chances don't always come? After so many yards and so many years, Dan Marino does. Super Bowl hopes of Dan Marino and Stan Humphries and their teammates will be played out at the late Joe Robbie's contribution to the NFL. This state-of-the-art theater, over 70,000 fans, a sellout. We've had some tropical showers, some rain expected during the course of the game. The Chargers, a 0-4 start. They've won 8 in a row, the surprise champions of the West. The Miami Dolphins, they started 6-0, have struggled home at 5-5 to win the AFC East. The winner will host the AFC Championship. Hello, everyone, and welcome to South Florida. We're about 20 miles northwest of downtown Miami. Dick Enberg with Bob Trumpy, and for Dan Marino, he told us maybe this is his best and last chance.
Yeah, I think he realizes he's got 2 receivers on the outside with Clayton and Duper. He's been with them for 10 years. And the thing that Miami has to do today is we've got to see a Dan Marino mega game. He can do it. If the timing is there, if the receivers catch the ball, Marino can almost transcend the normal boundaries of a professional football game.
It is almost a cliche. You come down to the big games and you talk about the quarterbacks, but it does fall on their shoulders. And how about Stan Humphries? How's he going to handle this?
He is in such a unique situation. Last year, he was inactive in the playoffs. He played the other team's quarterback, getting the Washington Redskins defense ready for the Super Bowl. There's no pressure on this kid. They've treated him with kid gloves. It's just another week of football for him. Basically, what he has to do is not make the big mistake. Just hand the ball off the butts and get out of the way.
It was interesting in talking to the 2 quarterbacks yesterday and the day before. You almost felt Humphries more relaxed than Marino. Now the field, we've had rain. We may have some more. Will that affect the play?
I don't think so. This is prescription athletic turf here at Robbie Stadium. They've had pumps on since last Friday continuously. Yes, we've had the tropical showers, but all of the water is drained away beautifully. It should not be a factor for either team.
Only one it's bothered is OJ so far.
Yes, right. We got him an umbrella. He doesn't like standing in the rain, but the good thing about this kind of field is we'll not have a situation like presented itself yesterday in Candlestick. Both teams should be able to go with every part of their game plan.
Do you see anything early that might turn for either club?
I think when you've got a young football team on the road, Dick, you want to go with your bread and butter plays. I was speaking of San Diego. A quick completion, an easy completion, then you get the ball to Butts. Bobby Ross has got to get his young on-the-road football team's feet on the ground quickly.
Miami has won the toss, and Don Shula, 317 victories, only 7 behind the immortal George Halas. 300 in regular season, most of those here in Miami. And 20 years ago, his team perfect. The only time someone has led a team to 17-0. And you have to go back a decade to match up these 2 teams in the playoffs. And of course, that calls up memories that you've read about and seen throughout the week of that classic 41-38 San Diego win in overtime here. Kickoff by Carney. Aaron Craver just activated. Young man out of Fresno State takes it out to the 24-yard line, and here comes Dan Marino. 31-year-old All-America, University of Pittsburgh. He's got an All-Pro left tackle. Richmond, Webb, Sims, Ulanake, Galbraith, and Dennis will do the blocking. Bobby Humphrey. Now the weight of this game is going to fall on his shoulders. Mark Higgs, the leading rusher for the Dolphins, is out with a knee injury. Tony Page is the blocker. We'll see him against Junior Seau. Duper and Clayton and Jackson the receivers when they go 4 wide. Tony Martin and Fred Banks as well. And it begins to rain harder. Out of the shotgun on the first play. Over the middle and dropped. intended for Humphrey, who circled out of the backfield. Rolling and Plummer, two of the San Diego backers, in on the coverage.
Dick, Miami's first snap, they give a look of 4 wide receivers. You see Humphrey, the ball thrown a little bit behind him. Page flanked one way, Jackson the other, trying to maybe confuse San Diego a little bit as to the look.
Make a game for Marino requires his receivers to make the tough catch.
Yes, and that should have been caught.
Marino, surprisingly, in his career, 1-3 against San Diego. Humphreys on the carry. Didn't fool the Chargers. This is a team that distinguished itself, the Chargers, number 4 defense in the league. And there's the man that's led them, young Junior Seau, who's the youngest player to go into the Pro Bowl. And you saw 22 Gilbert, the veteran. Grossman, Lee, Winder, and O'Neal in Arnsparger's 4-3 defense. Rolling, Plummer, and Seau, the backers. The back four of Bird and Tony Blaylock at the corners. Fields and young Stanley Richard, a hitter at safety. And they go to the dime. Darren Carrington had 6 interceptions this year. Sean Van Horst, a former Dolphin. 3rd and long, Marino from the gun. To the sidelines and way over the head of Duper. May have thrown that away. Good coverage by Donald Frank, an extra defensive back. And 3 and out for Miami. And San Diego gets the ball in a hurry.
Dick, I think San Diego just showed a little bit of their defense. On that particular snap, they had 6 DBs. Seau was the only linebacker, and he blitzed. Now, Arnsparger, not known as a blitzing defensive coordinator, blitzes on the 1st, 3rd, and long.
A little surprise for the spring shooter. Trouble by Roby, but there's no one there to block the kick. No flag. And now one is thrown at the line of scrimmage. A fumble. Lewis fumbled, and it's recovered by Hendrickson. Steve Hendrickson. Rocket head, they call him. Comes out of nowhere to fall on the ball. A flag down thrown by a linesman, not by the referee. The referee would throw the penalty on roughing the kicker. This is against Miami. A legal man downfield. The Chargers recovering the ball will take it at the 50, we would presume. Bobby Ross says decline the penalty.
Yeah, Dick, bad snap on the punt. Roby was then
ineligible man on the kicking team. Number 50 is downfield. The penalty is declined.
Johnny Greer, our ref.
At 34, gets up, hustles down the field, picks up the fumble that Nate Lewis drops on the ground, and the ball bounced for San Diego there, and there's the recovery.
Boy, what a hustle. Rain really pouring now as flags go down before the snap.
Ball start, number 86, prior to the snap.
Alfred Papunu, picked up by Bobby Beathard from the Kansas City Chiefs in the training period. Guilty of an early move. Boy, this is a real South Florida shower.
Yeah, but it won't last long. They pass through here quickly, go right straight to the coast. So far, San Diego, good field position, a big part of a young team on the road.
Lewis in motion. Humphreys dumps it out to Marion Butts, the big fullback, and he is crunched. Brian Cox, 51, on his way to the Pro Bowl, with Klingbeil supporting. Swain, underrated. Some feel he's Pro Bowl material. Moton, Hall, Richards, Thompson, very underrated. But you talk to the coaches around the league, they think the San Diego offensive line one of the best. Butts is big and tough. Young and Walker are tight ends. You'll see Harmon and Sean Jefferson in the 3 wide. In the league with 79 grabs this year.
Oh, and Dick, this matchup here for the Miami Dolphins will not work. Brian Cox learning this game, an excellent pass rusher, but watch 51. He has coverage on Harmon out of the backfield. That is not going to work. You can't zone off on Ronnie Harmon. He will eat you alive. Already, San Diego now has a look at who's going to be on Harmon, and they know they can go to this anytime they want.
12 yards on the play. It is third and a short 3. And Harmon is tripped up in the backfield by Dwight Collier, number 50, playing for John Offerdahl. From North Carolina. And so the Chargers unable to pick up a first down, and John Kidd into punt. He averaged 42.6, former Northwestern partner of Steve Tasker, the special teams Pro Bowler of the Buffalo Bills. And that will be a touchback. Donald Frank was already established in the end zone. Miami will get the ball at the 20-yard line when we return to rainy South Florida. 7:38 left in the opening quarter. Our overhead shots today from the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes, based in Pompano Beach. At the controls, Captain Richard Daniels from Burbank, California. Looking down through a shower, passing through the area. We're just a few miles, of course, from the Atlantic coast. And the rain heavy enough that it has indeed affected play. We've seen drop passes, a bad snap, a fumble on a punt return already. Second possession, Miami. Humphrey. And the former Denver Bronco and star with the University of Alabama gets a couple into the arms of Gary Plummer of the Chargers.
Dick, you know, interesting, when we talked to Bobby Humphrey yesterday at the Dolphins camp, his comment to us that this is the most he's been involved in a game plan since he was at Alabama shocked me. I mean, I knew at Denver he was primarily a runner, did not catch the ball, but so much responsibility on his shoulders in this game.
Acquired for Sammy Smith in a straight swap with the Broncos. He led Miami in receptions this year. Little delay, and Humphrey hit at the 27. It'll be third down and 3. Coming up to make the tackle, Floyd Fields from a safety spot. Leslie O'Neal helping out.
Very nice job by Junior Seau. This is called the lead draw, something a play that Miami has featured for years. Takes on Widener 63. And one of the few times you see Junior Seau knocked out of the hole. Excellent job by that young man. Oh, excuse me, Ulenik. I got Widener. Ulenik, the center, does an excellent job on Junior Seau. Nice pickup.
4 wide receivers on 3rd and 3. Marino going deep, and Duper falls. He was covered by Gilbert. Check that, Fred Banks, the intended receiver, number 86, and Bird was there with him. So Miami again unable to pick up a first down, and Roby in to punt.
You know, when we spoke with Don Shula, he talked with envy about Bobby Ross's team. The fact that they don't give you many opportunities, and you got to make good on all of them when you play San Diego.
Nate Lewis at the other end as Roby hits it low. Lewis a fair catch at the 31-yard line. Mike Williams was there for Miami. A 42-yard punt. Bobby Ross's Chargers will have it when we return.
NFL on NBC is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By McDonald's, what you want is what you get, guaranteed at McDonald's today. By John Newbean and Company, quality tax-free investment since 1898. And by Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this.
27-year-old Stan Humphries. He was a 6th-round draft pick by Bobby Beathard with the Redskins in '88. Gives to Marion Butts, and Butts just gets a couple. He led San Diego with 809 yards on the year, despite suffering a knee injury in the opening game of the season. Was never 100% and wears a brace today.
Well, at some point, they're going to have to start throwing the ball. Count the Miami Dolphins up there. There's 8 guys, and you see the 9th guy come to the line of scrimmage. They're going to make San Diego throw the ball to win here. They're not going to let Butts, in the early stages of this game, run over him.
Tom Olivadotti, the defensive coordinator from Miami. That's Ronnie Harmon skidding out to the 37-yard line. You could see Tender running by Harmon as that turf slippery. Hollier and Oliver make the tackle. Harmon, oh, is it tough to get a phrase out of him? We talked with him yesterday, or did we have a conversation? I can't remember.
No, he came in there with what he was going to tell us, and no matter what we asked him, he was only going to tell us that amount. We could get very little out of Ronnie Harmon.
Harmon feels that he's not really a player as long as he's a third down back, even though he's a major contributor. Said, I want to run the ball. I want to play on first down. Humphreys to Harmon at the 45-yard line, and that'll be a first down, tackled by Lifford Hobley.
Well, the value of Harmon is that he told us yesterday he suffers through the pattern and the catch, so he can run the football. And you see Harmon just coming in motion. Hobley, 29, picks him up from the outside. But boy, you've got to pay a lot more attention to Ronnie Harmon than that. That's 2 catches already, and that one for a first down.
The first of the game by either team. And because of the footing, there may be adjustments in footwear, cleats today. 8:30 remaining, first quarter, no score. Bucks hit from behind by Marco Coleman. Coleman, the #1 draft pick of the Dolphins from Georgia Tech, where he played for Bobby Ross for 4 years.
The Chargers like to run the stutter series or the counter series. They lead with a tackle. They lead with a tight end. They'll lead with anybody to smash mouth their opponents at the line of scrimmage. That was a nice counter run by Butts.
4 yards on the play. Eric Bieniemy, the second-year man from Colorado, 5'7", 200-pounder, replaces Butts. Humphreys down the sidelines to Miller, batted away. J.B. Brown. Good coverage by the cornerback from Maryland.
That's the game that San Diego plays with personnel. They had 3 tight ends, Miller the lone wide receiver, and they try to get those one-on-one matchups. That time, J.B. Brown wins.
Ronnie Harmon back in on 3rd and 6. Humphreys incomplete to Harmon. No, that's Miller, Anthony Miller. And Troy Vincent, another #1 pick of Miami, played at Wisconsin on the cover. And the fans let the defense know they like what they see.
Dolphins have done a good job here in the first 2 series, but they're in the initial stages of the game losing the field position battle. The Chargers punting from their own 47. Big factor in playoff games.
Scott Miller to return for Miami. John Kidd's second punt. And another problem. Kidd throws it. And it'll be Miami's ball at the San Diego 48-yard line. Incomplete pass. So both centers having trouble with a snap. Sam Anno unable to get the ball to Kidd, and Kidd's pass incomplete.
But Dick, this is not inexperience on John Kidd's part. He's played in big games when he was with the Buffalo Bills. That's absolutely inexcusable. Punt the ball, get it away.
Yeah, could he have gotten it away? There were 3 Dolphins coming in on him.
He's got to make an attempt.
Don Shula's team, that amounts to a turnover at the 48 of San Diego. Marino 0 for 3, gives to Humphrey, hit in the backfield by Leslie O'Neal, and Humphrey struggles back, losing but 1 yard as Stanley Richards secures the tackle. O'Neal on his way to the Pro Bowl 3 out of 4 years.
What a story he is, too. You know, when he had that knee injury, they wondered if he'd ever play again. He's come back and certainly taken a liking to this Bill Arnsparger defense, which ties him to a spot and lets him really concentrate on the man across from him. Their leading sacker, one of the most athletic defensive ends in the NFL.
And 2 more last week in the playoff win against Kansas City. 17-0 San Diego shutout. Marino escapes, and the dump off to Humphrey is good for 5 yards. We'll bring up 3rd and 6. Blaze Winter was one of those in on Marino.
There was pressure. You see Marino looked to the sideline. There's Blaze Winter, the guy who traveled 7,000 miles with a tape under his arm to convince at least the San Diego Chargers he could still play.
30 years old from Syracuse. And you see changing the cleats. This rain, although it is now just a light drizzle, affecting the turf, and so some of the men going to longer cleats. Good protection for Marino, and he hits Jackson. And the former Eagle star has a first down.
Jackson likes to celebrate. Excellent protection here for Dan Marino, which is a key against his San Diego defensive line. Boy, he's staring right at Keith Jackson. Excellent move outside. Like Charles Barkley underneath the basket, you know, getting that position. 250 pounds, said he's lost a little size, kept the strength and the weight. This kid has not scored a touchdown for Miami in 7 weeks. They've got to get him more involved today.
10 yards on the play. That's Clayton, a bobble, and Clayton kicks it out of bounds. Mark Clayton kicked the ball out of bounds at the 43-yard line.
That should be a flag. That should be a flag. This is a reverse. He never really gets it. Well, he accidentally hit it with his left foot, tried to kick it with his right foot, so they're not going to count it. It just ends up being a big loss. 9 yards on the loss.
An interesting call in light of the playing conditions and what we've seen already, players having difficulty handling the ball. The loss is 9. Draw to Humphrey, and he is met squarely by that linebacking core, and Seau was waiting for it. Number 55, he's only 23 years old, came out of Southern California after his junior season. His father, a custodian, Oceanside, California, just north of San Diego.
Dick, I have a feeling that these two might meet so much today, 44 and 55, that we're going to think they're 99. They're going to be joined so much. Obviously in coverage and that middle linebacker spot on the lead draw. Junior Seau is going to have Bobby Humphrey squarely in his sights.
Say ow when he hits you right. Marino on 3rd and long. They force him out of the cut. He might have gone beyond the line of scrimmage. Flag does not fly. Boy, Marino just did pull up, and Bobby Ross thought he'd gone beyond the line of scrimmage.
That's 2 of them. He thought that Clayton kicked the ball out of bounds, and on this one he thought that Marino crossed the line of scrimmage. This guy never gives up on a play. He's got a big fire burning in his belly, and he wants to take advantage of any play given his offense.
Roby will try to parachute one inside the 10. Veteran Gilbert, good hands back the field. He'll let it fall. And the Dolphins keep it out of the end zone. It'll be San Diego at the 5-yard line. Mike Williams finally covered the ball. Let's go back to the Marino pass and see how close he came to the line of scrimmage with that pass. 41-yard line, as you can see, right on the 41, the line of scrimmage.
Now these rules have been changed slightly. It's where he is, not where the ball is. I think that's legal play. Good
Indeed.
ball by Johnny Greer's crew.
He knows the real estate. No score. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in this opening quarter. You see the Chargers huddling on the sidelines, and now they'll come out and run a play directly.
What they're trying to do is disguise personnel, and it's really created a situation where for Miami, in most instances, they've got 7 or 8 guys on the field, 5 or 6 guys waiting around Alabadani to decide who, in fact, goes on to defense them.
And now the Miami fans clamoring for a turnover deep in San Diego territory. Marion Butts, the battering ram, who was a blocking back up north at Florida State for Sammy Smith. Carried the ball only 64 times in college and then has become a star running the ball in the NFL. Let's go back to Mark Clayton and saving a possible fumble on this reverse.
You can see that he tries to kick it, but it already accidentally hits his foot. And Ross has been complaining vehemently to Johnny Greer that that's palpably unfair. No call.
Humphreys. Incomplete to Anthony Miller. No catch. Louis Oliver and Troy Vincent doubling the Pro Bowler Miller, who led the AFC in yardage this year. In fact, the only AFC receiver over 1,000 yards in receptions.
Dick, the Chargers are going to have no choice. You can see the 8 guys at the line of scrimmage. The only chance that San Diego has is they're going to have to throw the ball to loosen this defense up. If they don't, and Anthony Miller's a big part of it, single coverage against Vincent, he's got to have his responsibility, loosen this Miami defense up from the line of scrimmage.
Ronnie Harmon, and he does not get the first down as he's hit at the 11-yard line, and Don Shula's Dolphins are going to get the ball in excellent position.
Well, if you're Bobby Ross on the road, you want to be able to do what your bread and butter is, and that's run the ball. Miami's taken that away. You can see the rain. They've not been able to throw it, and their punter drops a snap. Not a good start.
Miller at his own 45. That's Gary Plummer, number 50, the blocking back. Kidd doesn't drop this one, but his kick is very short. Miller with a good return opportunity to the 41-yard line. Tackled by Deems May. 42-yard punt, 10-yard return. No score, but Miami in good position. Bill Arnsparger, 66. He was the defensive coordinator here 20 years ago in the perfect season. His first year in San Diego. Look at the improvement from 19th to 4th in NFL ranking. Look at the points allowed, down over 100. Yards allowed, well down, and sacks way up. Arnsparger's influence immediate.
Yeah, and when he came to San Diego, he began putting this defense in February. 3 days a week he met with defensive players, and he still doesn't have the entire defense in.
16 yards for Miami so far, no score. Tony Page, a big fullback, brought down on a sure open field tackle. Floyd Fields makes the stop. Page caught 48 this year. He was second to Bobby Humphrey.
Floyd Fields wanted nothing to do with Tony Page out there in the flat. You see a lot of defensive backs when running backs come out there approaching appliance size. Just try to block him out of bounds. They don't want to try to wrap arms around Tony Page.
Don't you cause any trouble with Tony Page. His roommate in college at Virginia Tech, Bruce Smith of the Bills, will get on you.
I'm sorry, Bruce.
2nd and 6. Humphrey smacked at the line of scrimmage and then finished off by Bert Grossman, 92. Sean Lee was there first to close the hole. Lee, who took over the starting job last week against Kansas City from George Thornton and delivered 2 sacks. He's a former Dolphin.
And there were people down here in Miami who did not like it when Sean Lee didn't make the team. Chuck Klingbeil, the nose tackle, is the guy who stayed. Lee went. And he's kind of proven a point here to the Dolphins that he can play defensive tackle in the NFL.
1 yard on that last carry. Double pass to Humphrey, and boy, the Chargers had that one well scouted. Blaze Winter makes the stop. One of the great stories of this NFL year, this man Winter, able to convince someone he could still play at age 30. The Chargers are glad they were the one.
When they try to execute this play, one of the things they have to have is a little room, but watch O'Neal come down here and collapse. And here's Blaze Winter, who comes around and makes the tackle. I mean, one of the things about Arnsparger's defense is he doesn't give you a lot to do. but he makes you repeat it until you're an expert at it. That's the way this San Diego front four plays football.
Will be a dying spiral. That's going to be another great Miami kick down just outside the 5-yard line. And with it, the end of the first quarter. Well, San Diego played Kansas City scoreless the first half last week out in San Diego. No score in Miami after one. No score. In fact, the first 15 minutes played in torrential rain, only 3 total first downs, 2 by San Diego. And the Chargers have it as we open the second period. Dick Enberg with Bob Trumpy, O.J. Simpson, Todd Christensen down on the sidelines. We start at the 6-yard line. There again, that sideline huddle.
And you can see the amount of yardage throwing has to increase dramatically for the yardage rushing to increase for San Diego. Olivadotti and Miami will stick with that 8-man front until San Diego runs them out of it. Or passes them out of it, I should say.
Miller, their star receiver, comes to the bottom of the screen, number 83. Butts is the fullback. Humphreys goes the other way, and struggling out of bounds is Nate Lewis, who played his college ball for the Owls at Oregon Tech. First 2 years at Georgia, and then went up to play at that fine school in Klamath Falls, Oregon. J.B. Brown, the tackler, a gain of 6. City a week ago. Louis Oliver was the only Miami man left to stop Butts.
You can see what San Diego's idea is when they run the ball. If there's 8 guys up there, we'll block 7. Butts, you run over the 8th one. This time it's Louis Oliver. He does hang on to drag him down, but it's a 10-yard pickup.
Charles Mincy wasn't so fortunate last week for Kansas City when Butts rumbled over 50 for a touchdown. Butts, by the way, outweighs everyone on the Miami defense except 3 linemen at 250. He gets it again. He takes it to the 26-yard line, a pickup of 4. Brian Cox, the tackler. The enemy in Harmon wait in reserve.
And San Diego beginning now to find a little seam. And what they've done is they put a tight end in the backfield, and he's the lead blocker for Marion Butts. They've got any one of 4 to choose from, but it's been Dwayne Walker, 89. Now, you see a tight end coming out young, and Ronnie Harmon in the ball game.
There's Derek Walker, who played at Michigan, a linebacker, and he says, I like to play tight end with that kind of spirit. Raining hard, 2nd and 6. Harmon hit immediately at the 33-yard line. It appears to be enough for a first down. Troy Vincent, a talented rookie, makes the stop.
Just a hitch. They flank Ronnie Harmon, the running back, out. He gets corner coverage, and Vincent almost gets to this ball. Harmon can't lay out there like that. You got to come back for the football to help your quarterback as best you can, but it is enough for a first down.
Harmon, a #1 pick of the Bills a few years ago. His best season catching the ball. He just refuses to take any bows. He just, until I can play every down and be a real running back, don't talk to me about what kind of season I've had. On first down, but stacked up. Marco Coleman.
Boy, he caught that play from behind. Dick, that's surprising. Coleman's got the bad ankle. They run the ball right here, and he catches it from behind. Again, you see the lead block by the tight end, the H-back. That's great quickness. You can't find many defensive linemen in the game. You mentioned Bruce Smith. He's one of those defensive ends that can come from behind the play and catch it.
Coleman, who followed Pat Swilling at linebacker with Tech, to Harmon, incomplete. Vincent on the cover, and Harmon didn't like it.
He may grab him, but I guarantee you, Harmon won't say anything to him. We know that.
Well, if he said more than one word, then it's more than he gave us, right?
San Diego's approach here, throwing the ball, very basic. Again, the hitch. And I don't think Harmon liked the shot to the head. Well, you see Vincent, he kind of slapped him on the head, but he probably just stared at him.
This crowd, loud enough to remind you of the old days at the Orange Bowl. Down the middle, intercepted. Vincent, the rookie, takes it away from Miller. Vincent, who had 2 interceptions on the season, gives Miami the ball at the San Diego 48.
Ball should not have been thrown. Miller runs the crossing route. There's no way that Humphrey can get that ball to Miller unless it goes through Vincent's hands or through his head. Up, he blitzes, but count the defensive backs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 defensive backs by Olivedade against this third and passing situation. Webster, number 79, is the guy who comes on the stunt, gets in Humphrey's face. Ball should not have been thrown.
And remember, Stan Humphries playing last week with a dislocated shoulder. Underneath to Tony Page, some Chargers, and the umpire in on that play. Right into the thick of umpire Ed Kuchart's territory.
There you see Webster, 79, contact on that left shoulder. You mentioned his toughness, the fact that his shoulder is taped. It was dislocated. I'd heard stories it was separated. He may have to face surgery in the offseason, but you know, the playoff atmosphere, he's not feeling any pain now.
And what a message he sent to the entire San Diego team as to his ability to lead with toughness as well.
Every quarterback, every player wants that opportunity to prove to my teammates, I can get you there.
3 yards on the Marino to Page pass. Incomplete. Stanley Richard coming out to cover Humphrey. Now the defense for Miami's done its job, but the offense, Dan Marino's offense, has scored 6 touchdowns in the last 6 games of the year. They won their last 3, but they've been cold. Why?
You're asking me? We asked Don Shula, and he didn't have any answer. You can see.
Yeah, but you're supposed to know those
things.
That's
right. I wish. You can certainly see the frustration when you sit down and talk with Don Shula. He said, look, up until the Buffalo game on Monday night, we were rolling. We score on the first 2 drives, and we haven't done anything yet. You talk to Dan Marino, I'm not sure. We're going to try this. They don't have the answer. It's probably just one big play that'll fix it.
They're down and 7 for Marino. Screen it to Humphrey. 40, 30. First down at the 25.
From behind the defense, this is well sold by Dan Marino. You see Sims 69 out there in front. It's overrun by the defensive backs. That's an aspect of Bobby Humphrey that the Dolphins can use all day long. 55 Seau blitzes. He's the guy who'd be out there to cover Bobby Humphrey. He takes himself out. Beautiful call by Miami.
Deepest penetration by either team. No score. We're 9:48 left in the half. Marino to Duper. Mark Duper. First down.
That's the first time I've even seen Marino look to either wide receiver. Zone coverage by San Diego. Marino looks at Duper. Duper moves right inside the linebacker. Nice completion, 12-yard pickup.
First down at the 13. Aaron Craver in the backfield now. Miami, this is where they've had their problems. Craver finally pushed out of bounds by Plummer at the 7.
You got to give some Some real plaudits to the other running back in there with Aaron Craver. I don't think I have to even worry about who it is. Bobby Humphrey, not known as a great blocker, but he put a huge block on the outside linebacker that allowed Craver to bounce outside.
7-yard pickup. Marino changing his play. It's Humphrey. Driving inside the 5. He'll be close to a first down. It appeared they had him at the line of scrimmage, and Humphrey ducking in under the tackle. Finally, Floyd Fields from the secondary. Johnny Greer checking the sticks. We'll see if we have a measurement. Apparently not. They spotted at the 4. It'll be 3rd and a short yard.
Bill Arnsparger played for Blanton Collier in high school. Played for Blanton Collier, Woody Hayes at Miami University, Ohio. Coached with Shula. This guy's been around all of the great coaches you can think of.
He's coached himself, head coach, athletic director in the collegiate ranks, LSU, University of Florida.
I loved his line. So he said, you know, at your age, why are you coming back to football? He was an athletic director at Florida. He says, I'm a coach. I need a sideline.
Third and inches. Humphrey. No touchdown. It's marked down at the 1-foot line. First and goal. Miami will have 4 shots from a foot away.
We've talked about Marion Butts being an anvil or a hammer. Watch Tony Page. Watch the lead block that Tony Page has for Bobby Humphrey. This is 49 on Seau, just crumpled his legs. There aren't many people in the game that can do that to Junior Seau.
Humphrey stopped short. In fact, may have lost a foot as Seau crumples him at the 2-foot mark.
Well, again, lead block by Tony Page. Tries to double with Beatty, 84. Seau that time in there to assist on the tackle. It gets crowded down here. Well, you don't have a lot of room.
And Shula has to be thinking, hey, don't make a mistake. And in this weather, the Chargers thinking about a hit that would cough it up. 9th play of the drive. Marino to Page. Touchdown! Tony Page, the guy they call Pollywog. Well, this is the weather for him, and he's wide open. His 2nd touchdown catch of the year. Miami scores first.
Since Page is on the extra point team, Jackson gets to take the ball off the field.
So the Troy Vincent interception leads to the Miami score as Pete Stoyanovich tries the point after. 6:30 left in the opening half. Miami 7, San Diego nothing.
The team members at Saturn, a different kind of company, a different kind of car. By UPS, the package delivery company more companies count on. By Plus System. Plus marks the spot for cash when you travel at cash machines coast to coast and beyond. And by John Nuveen and Company. Quality tax-free investment since 1898.
Tony Page with a touchdown, the first allowed by the San Diego defense in 5.5 quarters of the playoffs, and the Dolphins lead 7-0. Stoyanovich to kick. Lewis, Bieniemy, and Harmon deep for San Diego. right down the middle to Nate Lewis. And a good return across the 30-yard line. Tackled by Bruce Alexander, number 32, after a 32-yard return.
And the touchdown again, a beautiful fake to Bobby Humphrey, but this play was actually set up on the 2 previous plays. They had Page lead block here, and here they fake the lead block, and no one covers him. I believe it's Henry Rolling who thinks he's going to have to take on Tony Page, wide open in the end zone. Nice throw, easy score, Miami.
Bobby Ross, that's not as if he doesn't want to hear it or see it. That's just a mannerism of Ross. Done it all his coaching life. Eric Bieniemy, who had his moments here in Miami, not in this stadium, but down at the Orange Bowl with the University of Colorado, as he helped lead them to a national championship, shared with Georgia Tech, then coached by Bobby Ross. Final 6 minutes of the first half. At halftime, the Bears' Mike Ditka.
Like your tie. Is that out of the Ditka collection?
If Ditka can wear a tie like that, I can wear a tie like that. 2nd and 6. Oh, Bieniemy, if he could have gotten his footing, had a chance to really rumble. Finally stumbles at the 50. 14 more yards for the compact ball carrier for the Chargers.
You can see the lead block again on the nose tackle. Bieniemy does a great job of keeping his feet low to the ground. Very strong. But they've begun to utilize Walker. 89 is the lead blocker, and beginning to run the ball with some authority here is San Diego.
At the 49 of Miami, trailing 7-0. Lewis was not looking. Incomplete. Troy Vincent, the closest defender.
Dick, that time San Diego caught Miami in a defense they wanted. They had a 4 wide receiver set, and Miami was in its base defense. Lewis didn't even look back at Humphreys.
Bobby Ross, one of the things that he noticed about the Chargers when he looked at their film of last year was their lack of enthusiasm when their teammates made a big play. So he used the Washington Redskins Super Bowl film, and he would contrast that to San Diego. He says, hey, look at these Super Bowl champs patting each other in the back, showing encouragement. What are you guys doing, sitting back and just watching? The pass is complete for short yardage to Lewis, who steps out of bounds in front of Shula at about the 43.
Dick, your story to continue on Bobby Ross, when you talk to some of the players, they honestly say he pushes the right buttons. You said he wanted a motion. He told us the story, or Junior Seau told us the story about the plane ride home from Phoenix. A little too much celebrating, and in the exhibition season, they'd lost the game. They'd lost John Freese. He went to the back of the plane and says, we don't do it this way anymore.
Unless you want to play somewhere else, you can do it. We don't celebrate defeats. 3rd and 4. To Lewis. Incomplete. The ball was there, but so was Vincent. What a half for the rookie from Wisconsin.
Especially when you add to his performance the fact that on Thursday, there was some concern that he might not play at all. He had a bit of the stomach flu, man-to-man coverage. You see the hand-to-hand combat there. Lewis, 81, Vincent, 23. Vincent missed practice on Friday, was back yesterday. Didn't work out much, but you're right, he's having a big half.
Lewis unable to make the Willie Mays catch, and in comes Sean Kidd to punt. Scott Miller and Jarvis Williams back. And Kidd won't be happy with that. It goes into the end zone. Touchback 20 for Miami with 4:12 to go in the half.
On NBC is brought to you by Domino's. Call Domino's Pizza now, and you'll be enjoying free Twisty Bread and a free Garden Fresh salad with a large one-topping pizza during the game.
Welcome back to Joe Robbie Stadium. Bobby Ross, 56, Richmond, Virginia, from modest upbringing. His dad is 88. Leonard never owned a car, couldn't afford it. Pouring now as trapped in the backfield is Humphrey. Henry rolling stops him for a yard loss. So Humphrey, who's been busy as expected, he's going to have to carry the load. 10 carries, only 14 yards rushing against San Diego.
If you're a Miami Dolphin fan, the woes of the offense continue. Obviously, the rain has an effect, but not much luck running the football. If you're a San Diego fan, the San Diego defense living up to pre-billing, making it difficult for Miami.
Miami touchdown after the Troy Vincent interception that positioned Marino at the San Diego 48. Humphrey again. And it's Seau making the stop at the 22. Junior Seau, what an athlete, and it is really dropping now.
One thing seems to be a guaranteed fact. When you have a great linebacker, all teams try to run at him. That time they ran away from Junior Seau. He's able to take on the blocker. Ulenek, the center, still pursue to make the stop.
Right into the eyes. American Samoan came to the United States at age 7. Under 3 minutes to go in the half. Humphrey, almost intercepted by Seau, right through the hands of Humphrey. And Seau surprised and now thinking about what might have been.
He's locked on to Bobby Humphrey. He was going to stay right with him. Watch Keith Sims, 69, come out to block him. He sees the ball bounce off. Look at the athletic ability. What agility this kid has. Arnsparger said he's the same size as Gino Marchetti was back in the 50s when he played for the Baltimore Colts. And Gino Marchetti was a big defensive end. Now an outside linebacker at that size.
Roby's punt. Lewis, the fair catch, lets it bounce, and it takes a Miami roll to the 27-yard line.
Dick, that hit Kerry Glenn 35 on the foot. That should go back to where it first hit his foot.
Absolutely right.
That's an illegal touch.
And we'll see whether or not any official picked that up. It should be marked upfield around the 37. Right now they're standing at the 27. We'll sort it out when we return.
On this last punt, that ball hit Kerry Glenn. Should be there. Cost San Diego 10 yards.
Should have been spotted where the ball was touched by the kicking team. That's Ronnie Harmon getting a couple. Marco Coleman. Now the rookies for Miami, and Don Shula's very quick to announce an improvement in his defense this year is the aggressiveness, the physical nature that Coleman and Troy Vincent have brought to this team. 2 #1 picks, and they have produced.
That nasty attitude he likes.
2 minutes, 9 seconds to go in the half, and another drop. Ronnie Harmon, no question, the wet ball has affected play. So 2:06 left in the half, and it'll be 3rd down and 7.
That was a pretty simple pattern and a pretty simple catch by Ronnie Harmon. In the rain, these shields that these players wear, there is no way to wipe the rain off the front of them. They don't have them yet developed with windshield wipers.
As you saw, not much production from Humphreys in this first half. Good protection. Intercepted. Troy Vincent again. Number 2 for the rookie.
Nate Lewis is the intended receiver. To this point, the receivers for San Diego have not responded. Ball thrown behind him, though. You got to put that one on the quarterback. Stan Humphries, Miami ball.
The wonder of winning Wimbledon for Agassi, one of the high moments of the year past, and now it's Miami going to work. Another Vincent interception, and the completion, Marino to Duper. It'll be 1st and goal, just inside the 10. Vincent's interception is 2nd of the half, setting this up.
Gilbert is the man in coverage. Duper runs a little out move that both these guys have played for 10 years. They both got the same speed. I'm surprised that Gilbert bit on that little move. He's seen a lot of moves, and the interception by Humphries certainly given life to Miami here in the first half.
First and goal, Marino and Miami, almost the full 10. Troy Vincent's defense strikes again. Two interceptions, 14 points.
Well, we came into this game not expecting San Diego to blitz with Bill Arnsparger. We'll witness here an all-out blitz, which results in man coverage on Keith Jackson. He runs the out and up. It's the companion pattern to the slant, the little slant that Duper and Clayton catch. And unfortunately, Floyd Fields just loses the coverage, and for the first time in 7 weeks, Keith Jackson in the end zone. And Don Shula says, there's a dividend. Yeah.
Well, it may not be mega Marino so far, but you can't throw a ball any better than that. Under pressure, falling away, and just rainbowing a perfect toss to Jackson wide open. And it rains harder, and the fans cheer louder for Miami. Left in the half. Only 2 plays to score after the interception by Vincent. The enemy. Great open field tackle by Kerry Glenn.
Emotion turns on a lot of things. We're going to go back to the interception. Here's the intended receiver, Nate Lewis. He runs across. You're going to see that Lewis is absolutely wide open. This should be an easy completion for Humphries. With just this being his 21st NFL start, nerves. He does not read the receiver correctly, underthrows him. Vincent makes the interception, and Marino and company do the rest.
Oklahoma academic All-America Keith Jackson with a touchdown. 1:39 left in the half, and in this rain, Humphries goes to work, down by 2 scores. Boy, what coverage. Finally, it's Harmon. A great open field runner, Harmon, but on this turf, tough to wiggle free, and down he goes at the 24. Stephen Braggs, an extra defensive back, makes the stop. And San Diego will spend a timeout. NFL Live, our Domino's Pizza halftime report, will feature Bruce Smith of the Buffalo Bills as they wait the winner of this game. Miami or San Diego will host the AFC Championship a week from today. Smith playing with badly injured ribs, and apparently both sides injured the other side of the rib cage yesterday in the impressive win at Pittsburgh. And congratulations to Buffalo, and today to the Dallas Cowboys. Jimmy Johnson's young team that just is maturing with each week and advances with a convincing Eagles at home. Humphreys goes deep. Nate Lewis. It's Vincent, and he almost had his third. Vincent, who had 2 all season, almost gets 3.5, and Humphreys took quite a hit from Jeff Cross.
Watch the pass rush. Actually, it's a combination, 91 and 51. It's Cox and Cross that do nail him. He's got that left shoulder taped. Boy, he's got the guts, though, you know. He tried to get to his front foot to fire that thing. You see a lot of quarterbacks who kind of throw it on their back foot. Tough kid, that Stan Humphreys.
He knew it was coming. Bob Galliano, who started the season as the opening day quarterback for San Diego. 3rd and 4. This is a big player. Miami's going to get the ball with a chance to score more. Humphreys scrambling for the first down at the 34-yard line. 1:02 left in the half. As you look at the veteran Galliano, and time called by San Diego.
Dick, I can now see the weakness in the San Diego offense as Humphrey goes to the sideline for counsel. They just don't have the full wide receiver running back 2-minute offense. Anytime you show a weakness, where the thing that Miami's done best here is they put 8 guys at the line of scrimmage and told San Diego, now run on us. San Diego has not been able to figure out a way to throw the ball consistently over that 8-man front. And so San Diego's got to fix that at halftime. And here in the final 2 minutes, or the final minute, they got them all bunched up and trying to cubby up quail the Miami defense here.
And there's no way we can underestimate the impact of the weather on the game as well. I mean, two turnovers have led to the Miami touchdowns. Neither team really has been impressive moving the ball on its own.
Interesting, too, that you've got a rookie, Troy Vincent, who seems to be matched up a lot with Anthony Miller. Very much involved in covering their best receiver.
1 timeout left for San Diego. 1 minute to go. Humphreys intercepted. Brian Cox. Oh, the rookies are really showing their stuff for Miami in this first half. Cox, in his second year, making it to the Pro Bowl, a vicious hitter. He's had 1 interception all year, 14 sacks, and look at him play that as if he knew where it was going.
Intended for Sean Jefferson. Humphreys never saw it. Inexperience shows in a lot of ways. Now, Humphreys has played in the league for 5 years. This being his 21st start, it's just a lack of looking at a lot of different kind of defenses that got him there.
Miami with all 3 timeouts, and they're back in San Diego territory. That's 3 interceptions, all in the San Diego half of the field. Marino sidestepping and making a big throw to keep Jackson. Stanley Richard, the tackler. They'll allow progress to the 38.
You mentioned the rookies have certainly had an impact. He's had more of an impact as a sacker. They don't like him to drop in coverage. Zone read well. And Humphreys never saw him. It's hard to miss a guy who was 6'4", 250, but Humphreys never saw him.
Oh, Marino and Miami will use a timeout with 45 seconds left in this first half. Interceptions leading to the 14-0 lead, and a score here, if this weather continues, will make it most difficult for San Diego to engineer a rally in the second half. A team that has won 8 in a row, the Chargers, and 12 of their last 13.
I don't want to root particularly for either team here, but this has certainly been the playoffs of comebacks. You can't rule out that anything can happen in this 1992 postseason.
Thus far, Miami on this slick turf and with a ball that is very difficult to handle has been error-free. 2nd and 5. Humphrey. He has the first down just outside the 30. And remember, Miami has one of the outstanding ace kickers in the NFL, and Pete Stoyanovich. In fact, Stoyanovich now has kicked 100 field goals, which qualifies him on the all-time ranking list, and he moved immediately ahead of Nick Lowry of Kansas City into the #1 spot. He's over 80% accuracy.
Yeah, and 17 points. They're leading by 14 here. 17 points at home in playoffs with rain. That's got to feel like 30 to San Diego.
One timeout left for each team, 39 seconds to go, but Marino isn't thinking Stoyanovich in 3, you know that. Marino, whose father still delivers newspapers, drives a truck in Pittsburgh, refuses any financial help from his son. And on strike, he hasn't been working, has he?
Likes his company. Likes his company. You know, they'll play golf together, come down here in Florida, but leave me alone. I can fend myself. I'm all right.
We talked about the toughness of Humphreys. Don't ignore Marino in that regard. He's no custard quarterback. Humphreys slips through his fingertips. On a dry field, dry day, that ball is caught.
You saw the look of Dan Marino. He gives you these pained expressions. One of the most emotional quarterbacks I think I've ever seen in a huddle, on a sideline, between plays, when it works and when it doesn't work. He's an emotional guy. I think in Ortiz, he knows how many chances a quarterback gets and feels like this is his best opportunity, and he's got to make the best of it in his quest for the Super Bowl victory.
Second and 10. Charger defense looked confused. And there's Jackson. Touchdown! Oh, my! With a circus catch, and that's going to go into the vault. Stoyanovich to try to make it 21-0. So the final 2 minutes of this half, a disaster for San Diego.
Here's Jackson now. As this tape rolls, watch the confusion on the part of San Diego. Dick, I think you called it perfectly. See, they're trying to communicate from the inside out. People pointing all over the place, trying to communicate who's doing what. And Jackson just goes straight down the field. Total drop coverage by formation and also by personnel. You can see Stanley Richard, the free safety. He's making the calls. Good time for Marino to look around. Not a particular pretty pass, but Jackson does make the reception. His second of the half.
So here in this second quarter, interceptions at the 48, the 37, and the 42-yard line, all in San Diego territory. And Bobby Ross has seen Miami convert all 3 into touchdowns. The last Miami touchdown ball.
If her favorite Miami Dolphin before this game was not Keith Jackson, he sure is now.
Oh, a weapon that Don Shula and the Miami organization were eager to spend the money, even though Shula was not an advocate of free agency at all, was he?
Testified against it, but realized the importance of having a guy like Keith Jackson in your lineup, and I don't think it'd be the last free agent he'd sign either.
Papunu, one of the tight ends, carries it to the 37-yard line, and with 22 seconds left, the way things have gone for the Chargers, 3 quick interceptions, 3 touchdowns all in this period. One would not blame Bobby Ross for just kneeling down and getting out of here and trying to figure out what's next. Since losing their first 4 games, the Chargers allowed the opposition 21 points only 2 times. To Denver, when they defeated 24-21, and to Phoenix, they beat the Cards 27-21. But the interceptions, a short field for Miami. Well, Humphries is going to throw anyway, and it's Harmon stepping out at the midfield stripe.
Well, this is nice at the end of the half for San Diego, but this is not going to fix their inherent problem that's been established, and that is down 21-0. The running game of San Diego is gone, and this is not a particularly sophisticated passing game, which San Diego's got to go to in the second half.
Arnsparger's defense and the veteran coach already working on the second half. San Diego will get the ball to start the second half. Harmon, Collier trips him up right at the line of scrimmage. And that will be the final play unless they spend their last time out 4 seconds to go in the half. So a final play for Humphries and San Diego.
You got to try at least one shot into the end zone here. We haven't protected it well. Let's just try to get lucky.
Well, on this field, and Bobby Ross just trying to think at what does he say to his team at halftime, and one of the things they'll say, hey, that ball can squirt free.
Absolutely.
Let's create some turnovers and see if we can't build ourselves what we have seen Miami accomplish.
Say, do you not remember a team that was wearing that kind of helmet and the Dolphins wearing this kind of helmet? Latter stages of a football game, run a play called a hook and lateral down in the Orange Bowl. Yeah, there's always time to come up with something to try to trick him and get it in the end zone.
Well, the playoffs a dozen years ago. Three men to the right, Jefferson, Lewis, and Harmon. And Humphries with a flag down and no play. So they flooded the end zone to the right. Movement before the snap appeared.
Yeah, if this is on the offense, the half is over. They'll not get another play. 4 seconds left. It's gone. Wait a minute. That was a dead ball, though. That was a dead ball. I stand corrected. The clock has not started.
So the 5-yard penalty, and just rubbing a little more. I don't know if the rain here isn't salty, is it? But it's salt in the wound of Ross.
Why would you ask me if it's salty? Oh, I under it.
Well, that's inside. We had a big discussion about why there's so much salt water and what we're going to do about it, making it fresh in all of our extra time here in Florida this week. All right, from the 45, and Humphries going to really have to wing one to get it to the end zone. Oh, Nate Lewis did get his hands on it, although at the 11-yard line, and they cheer Miami off the field. Three interceptions, 3 touchdowns, Miami 21-0. Let's go to Bob Costas.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report. Brought to you by Domino's Pizza, where you always get great pizza, plus something for nothing.
Well, Dick Enberg said it in a nutshell. All 3 touchdown passes by Marino, 2 of them to Keith Jackson, follow the interceptions that Humphries suffered in this first half. Story of the game.
It's a game of turnovers, and also after the first 2 possessions, the field became very long for San Diego, and it's made it hard. They got away from their running game. San Diego's defense has not touched Marino. They have not sacked him, and I don't think they even touched him. So it's going to be a long afternoon.
Do you see any chance? I mean, it's in the rain. They're down 3 TDs.
There's always a chance, but it's going to be awfully tough unless they can put some pressure on. What Miami will do, come out and run the football. Now, I'm pretty sure of that.
Your impressions of the first half?
And then, like Mike said, Miami really doesn't run the football that well. They'll just try to run time off the clock. Miami has dominated the first half. None of us, and the coaches I talked to in the NFL this week, thought that could happen in this game. You have to give Miami credit. Their offensive line has been great. The field, of course, has helped them out. But their defense has been the best unit of the 4 units on the field, and that's a surprise.
All right, now the winner of today's game will, of course, host Buffalo next Sunday for the AFC Championship and the right to represent the conference in the Super Bowl. The Bills somehow survived against Houston last Sunday, and that's why we're not counting San Diego completely out. We'd be foolish to do that after what we saw a week ago. And, of course, after beating the Oilers, then Pittsburgh was the next test for Buffalo, and they were able to handle the Steelers yesterday. Joining us now from his home in Buffalo is the Bills' fine defensive end, Bruce Smith. If this holds up, as appears likely, you will go against a very familiar opponent. They beat you early in the season in Buffalo. You went down and won a very fine Monday night game, close game there later in the season. So you know everything you need to know about the Dolphins, Bruce.
Yes, we do. They're a very capable team, and any time that Dan Marino is in charge of anything, I tell you, the sky's the limit for the Miami Dolphins.
They had done a very good job the last several years against you specifically. Richmond Webb has really done a good job blocking you. You were able to register a sack, though, in the Monday night game, and it's the first time you've gotten your hands on Marino in a few years, so that must have felt good.
Well, it's been a while, but I think the fact that they spend so much attention trying to block me, and it's not only Richmond Webb, it's a back in the backfield, and at the same time, it's Sims giving Richmond Webb a lot of help. So I consider that to be an advantage to me because they're devoting so much attention towards me.
Keith Jackson's first game with Miami was the game earlier this year up in Buffalo. So his presence has given them an entirely new dimension, and of course he catches the 2 touchdown passes in the first half today.
Yeah, it certainly has. I think Keith Jackson is probably the best tight end in the National Football League, and the fact that they were able to acquire him, that just gave them added amount of depth, and at the same time, it gave them a lot of versatility.
Let's talk about your condition. You were suffering from those cracked ribs on the right side. Then yesterday in Pittsburgh, you took a shot on the other side.
Yes, I sure did. I tell you, if it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have any at all. And after the game was over, some of the guys came up to me and started kidding me. They told me I need to drink more milk because I need more calcium. But yes, I did get hit there, and it's still very painful, but it's not going to be anything that's going to stop my play this week.
So there's no question about your availability for Sunday's AFC Championship game?
No, there's no questions whatsoever.
How about your thoughts on the Kelly-Reich situation? Frank has done a brilliant job in relief, but Marv Levy says if and when Jim Kelly is 100%, there's also no question he goes back in.
Well, we all know at the Buffalo Bills that Jim Kelly is our quarterback. I think Frank has done an outstanding job, and the fact still remains when Jim gets 100% and he's healthy, he's going to be our starting quarterback. But until then, I think we're going to pull together as a team and pick up the slack where it's needed. And you know, the most important thing about that is you don't see just one player out here on the Buffalo Bills team being the superstar. It's a combination of all of us, and I think that shows what kind of character that we have on this team.
Bruce, thanks a lot. Heal up with those ribs, and we'll see you next week either in Miami or possibly San Diego.
Probably Miami. Thanks a lot.
All right. Now, the NFC Championship is set. Dallas will visit San Francisco after the Cowboys trounced the Eagles 34-10 earlier today at Texas Stadium. Some highlights from that ball game. The Cowboys were already ahead 7-3 with under a minute left in the second quarter when Troy Aikman connected with Jay Novacek on this 6-yard TD. Aikman's second TD throw of the day made it 14-3. The Eagles fumbled the ensuing kickoff. Dallas got a field goal, led 17-3 at the half, and they were on their way. And they just about sealed it here in the third quarter. Emmitt Smith will take it in from 23 yards out. He had 114 for the day, 24-3 Cowboys. Randall Cunningham, unlike Aikman, was under pressure all day long. They sacked him 5 times. Cowboys practically hold a team meeting on his body here, and they give Russell Maryland credit for the sack. final numbers on Cunningham: 17 of 30 for 160, 1 touchdown, which came with about a minute to go, and the issue decided. He wasn't intercepted, but he was sacked 5 times, and they held Herschel Walker to 29 yards on the ground. Aikman threw for 2 TDs, and Dallas is a step from the Super Bowl, but a big step. They'd have to beat the Niners at Candlestick. And coming up, we'll get reports from Joe Robbie as we check in with OJ and Todd Christensen after a message from the NFL and a word from your local station.